I come into this place sometimes, and I just be honest with you. I try to prepare and get my heart ready for praise. From when the time I wake up in the morning, I start trying to think that way and pray that way. But with air conditioners versus heaters, and which one do I need today, and blah, 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 all that stuff. Sometimes when I finally come to 10:30 and sit down here, I'm like, until that first note hits. And then I'm right back up there when I'm supposed to be. And I appreciate them. About 2.5 years ago, Pastor Roger called me up and said, hey, I'm going to meet with this missionary couple. I'd like you to sit in on the meeting with us, with me, with them. And so I said, sure, I'd be happy to. How do you know them? He goes, well, I said, okay, he doesn't know them. So we all met, we got in the room, we sat down together, and I cannot tell you how the presence of the Lord filled that room in each one of us in that conversation, and how the Lord talked to each one of us individually. And that was 2.5 years ago, and I think I've made 4 trips to Ecuador now. But the first one was planned and promised before that meeting was done. That's how the Lord moves. And in my mind, my left brain was saying, what are you doing? You're getting on a plane going to Ecuador with these people that you met 5 minutes ago, and Roger probably met 6 minutes ago, and what are you doing? And over here, God was saying, calm down. Trust me. And because of that, I have 2 wonderful friends who I love dearly. And I've met other people that I love dearly as a result. And I'm looking forward to you hearing them today. Before they come up, we're going to show a video. Kind of introduces them. Their name is Pastor Ricardo. I say Ricardo, you say Ricardo. And Peri Pardo. And they're wonderful, wonderful people, dedicated servants of God.
We're homesick now. I have to thank you and hello and thank you for having us. I have to be obedient to the Spirit for just a minute. I'm going to ask Amy. Amy Hollingsworth, will you please stand up for just a minute? No, I want to share something with you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you do this, so you're fine. In all seriousness, I live in Ecuador. I love worship. I don't care if I understand what they're saying or not. I'm so just drawn in by the Spirit when I hear worship. We've been in hundreds, if not thousands, of different churches all over the United States. I want to tell you that this is probably our 5th time here. Y'all are so blessed because every single... No, wait. You get it. Every single time I'm here, me personally, you bring fresh wind, fresh fire. Every time. And thank you so much for that. God bless you for what you do. Okay, okay. So anyway, the video that you just saw, we're here to share with you a little bit today about what we do. We've been missionaries in Ecuador. We're beginning our 5th year. And as Pastor Roland was saying, 2.5 years ago, we were here in your church, meeting with Pastor Roger and Pastor Roland and a friend of ours who was going here at the time. And we have been back 3 or 4 times since then in between trips to Ecuador. And we're firm believers in God's faithfulness and in God's timing. And we don't get discouraged. I was going to say easily, but really we don't get discouraged. We just keep doing what we're doing, what he leads us to do, and we trust that his timing is impeccable. So his timing right now is impeccable. That's why we're here today. We've been back in the States since November. We're going back on January 14th. We've taken 4 years to achieve getting our 2-year visa. So the political stuff and paperwork and all that is always just it's what the enemy uses to get you to go away, and it didn't work. So, but I wanted to say to you, I'm going to share a little bit about what we do as a ministry, because the scope is pretty wide. I'm going to share the what, and he's going to share the why. So I want to start by saying, why am I barefoot? Well, before I tell you that, I would like to have all of you stand up again, please. And I want you to just do a 360-degree turn. Thank you. Now you can sit back down, and I'm hoping that cleared out any preconceived notions you have about missions and missionaries, because we ain't like everybody else, okay? Not better, not worse, just we're kind of crazy in that respect. I'm barefoot because we weren't back in the States. We get back to, we flew into Fort Lauderdale. We had to go to Walmart first to get phones turned back on and all of this stuff. And my next stop after Walmart was Publix. And I walked in and I went, I'm home. And I can't stay out of Publix. And I can't stop eating. My clothes are getting a little tighter. And I'm just like, I got to go back to Ecuador because I'm going to have to buy new clothes if I don't. But the reason I'm barefoot is because my feet are cold. So why don't you put your shoes on? Because I don't want to get too comfortable. I just don't. All of those people and all those kids, everybody in that video that you just saw, they're our family. And you know what? If you're a believer and a follower, they're your family too. And ministry in Ecuador, there's nothing special about ministry in Ecuador. It's no more important than ministry right here, outside that door. Because this is the mission field wherever he puts you. But you're not supposed to do mission just within four walls. He just happened to call us to Ecuador. I'm from West Virginia. He's from Cuba. We met in North Carolina. And we live in Ecuador. Only God. The Ministry of La Montaña de Luz is a legal entity in Ecuador. It's a nonprofit legally in Ecuador. It's a legal nonprofit 501c3 in the United States. The name in the United States is Mountain of Light Incorporated. The name in Ecuador is La Montaña de Luz Incorporated. So it took us almost 4 years to achieve all that legal status, et cetera. In the meantime, we've been doing ministry. We are planting churches. We were back this past year. We got there in March, on March 1st. In 8 months, we planted 4 locations. I'm bragging on God here. It's not us, it's God, believe me. We planted 4 locations through the ministry. We had a pastor's class, our first ever pastor's class, because we're all over the place. We can't do it all by ourselves. We graduated 6 people from that class. We ordained 1. The rest are coming back to take it. We're starting it again in February with like triple the amount of people. We did leadership conferences for different churches, different denominations, because we're non-denominational. That's God's design, not premeditated. We've been doing leadership conferences that last 6 days, and over 300 people have graduated that leadership conference to help churches. The churches in South America, the mentality is everybody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants to be a leader because they get to wear the shirt and get to have all the authority inside where they're worshiping. And the pastors are frustrated because they can't talk them into going out and reaching the community. Now, they'll bring a couple people from the community in and minister to them, give them some food, give them some clothes and things like that, but they're not going out and doing home visits, which is our favorite thing to do. We take our whole field team, including guitars, the whole 9 yards, and we'll take 12 people and jam right inside a one-room house and spend a couple hours. So our leadership conference is designed to first explain why that's important to them scripturally, but also to encourage them and inspire them to want to do it. And then we invite them to come with us. So we work with multiple churches there, multiple denominations. We're in the field all the time. We have a field team on the ground there that work full-time. We've been supporting them. They work full-time with their families. And then we have a board of directors here that, one of them is here, the other Amy. Would you mind standing up for just a minute, Amy and Pastor Roland? are also on the board of directors here of La Montagne, of Mountain of Light, and then we have 2 others that are in South Daytona. What we do, we've had hundreds and hundreds of people come through the ministry. We do what we call creative ministry. Other people would call it, what are you doing? We call it creative. We will go into a community and find the poorest of the poor on purpose because no one else will go there. And we'll take our team and we'll take food and we just go and have a party. We have a Jesus party with them and worship and pray and people come to Christ, and then we don't just walk away and leave them. We continue to go back, and that's why we're raising up pastors to stay in these communities so that we can keep it going. So, because that's important. Without discipleship, you have nothing. Like I said, we're going into our 5th year. We have been, we're in the area of Santo Domingo in Ecuador, which is pretty much an unreached area. There's a big city, there's a lot of rural areas around it, but we have a lot of connections there with government and things like that. I'm telling you, God has done things there through the ministry that we've had people say, that's never going to happen. They're never going to let you come in there. They're not going to let you talk to this person. You can't possibly meet the mayor. You can't do this. You can't do that. And we're always like, okay. But he can. And he does. I mean, we have things that happen there that we're constantly like, did you see that? Yeah. Don't say anything. So what I wanted to do today is just let you guys know that we're busy, and I want to inspire you to be busy as well. We do live at an AIDS orphanage. There's 19 kids there right now from the ages of 5 to 21. Carla's 21. And we live there full time as of right now. When we take mission teams over, they stay in the orphanage. There's a dormitory there. They stay in the orphanage with them. So part of the mission team experience is getting to know those kids. So what that leads to is people that come, just warning, if you come, you're probably going to be planning your trip back by the time you're leaving because you just get attached to the kids. That's not all we do, but that is where we live, and they do receive the mission teams, and we do help them. We're the pastors on site as well as help them resources and things like that. So we've done everything we've bought a lot of toilets. Okay, because it's just a thing for me when we go into someone's home and we're ministering to them and there's all these kids running around, and then if you have to go to the bathroom and you go, oh my gosh, I'm like, we have to go to the hardware store and buy a toilet, and we will go buy one and take it back and put it in. We'll do it all the time. God has provided resources just when we need them from the most unlikely sources. We just finished a house. Somebody donated the money. We had a house, $400. Some people, from 2 different sources. $400 built a house for this little lady named Dolores. She was living in literally this shack on stilts that was about to fall down. He and the field team went over to prop up the floor, and he called me. It was right before we were coming back. He called me, he goes, we have a problem. He says, I can't touch this floor because the whole thing's coming down. And I said, well, what do you need? He goes, $400. I'm like, no, we don't have it. And we made a couple phone calls, and God said, you're going to get it, and Dolores has a new house now. Amen. But, yeah. Yay, God. But he does things like that. And the hardest question for us to answer is, well, what do you do as your ministry? Like, what is it focused on? It's focused on what God says to do. And we try to meet the needs when we see them, where we see them, how we can. You know, we can't go in over there and say we're going to go into a community and build everybody a new house. Not everybody needs a new house. And we always try to inspire them to help each other. So pool their resources and get together and help each other. So that's kind of who we are and what we do. We do a lot of street ministry. We do a lot of in-house ministry. That's my favorite thing, is to go in homes, because as I'm getting more proficient in the language, in the beginning I couldn't talk to anybody. But there's a ministry there. It was almost a good thing that I couldn't speak Spanish, because I could sit with, especially the women, and I could just reach over and hold their hand and they would start crying. And I would be able to just start praying in English, and before you know it, they're sobbing in my arms. And I would be just like, thank you, God, for that. Thank you for giving them that comfort from the Holy Spirit, not from me. So as much as I love Publix, and as much as I love worship in English, and as much as I love like air conditioning and carpet and nice sheets and things like that, I can't wait to go back. Because they're waiting for us. They're calling us every day on WhatsApp. Are you sure? You coming? You positive? You promise? You're coming? You're coming? You sure? You're coming? We're coming. We're on our way. Well, we got some work to do here first. And thank you so much for letting us be here to share some of that with you. So let me let you speak with Pastor Ricardo.
I don't mind.
Oh.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm so grateful to be here. Serious. And I really need you guys put attention because my English is terrible. Really, really bad. And when I come from Ecuador, it gets worse. So we just here for 2 months, and I just want to ask you to my wife if she want to marry me again. Amen. I'm so proud in God because what God does through the one day, obedient and faithful. And the ministry La Montaña de Luz focus about just being obedient to Jesus Christ. Amen? To nobody else, just Jesus Christ. It's just hard for a human being to be obedient to Jesus Christ and not worry about what other people say. Amen? Well, I make a commitment one time to the Lord, and He said, if you give me one more chance and save me, I will live for you, and I don't really care what people say. We are not in domination, but we'll be saved by grace. Amen? And we are focused 100%, 110% evangelical work, share the gospel, baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and disciple them, because the Bible never saying anywhere, I say, go make a Christian, just go make a disciple. And we can get all these things really out of context, really easy, and go and fool ourselves. Because it's everybody just focus only on the negative thing. And I was talking to one pastor and I said, if you don't focus on the negative thing, focus on me because I always do it wrong. But God always got my back because He's a faithful one. And He never tried to speak it to us. He just do it. Because He don't try to do anything. He just do what is best for us. And we here alive today because He had a purpose for us. The reason is we're going to focus on what other people do and why we don't do and why God don't speak to me directly is because it's something in your heart that you don't allow to hear what God is telling you. Because God want to help you. God want to speak to you directly. God want to show you how much He loves you. And I'm not here to preach today. I just want to talk about La Montaña de Luz ministry. But I can't help it. He's so good. He's so good to me. I tell you this, He's so good to me. When He called me out of the mud, I was living in the septic tank. That's what I called my life was before. The only difference was a lot of money down there. But when He saved me, how can I stop bragging on Him? And I do what I do because I have passion for Him. I love Christ because who He is, not by what He does. Because we're sick, because we want to. Because He healed a long time ago. When He said it was done, it was done. Amen? When He said it was done, it was done. It is no way He's going to say it is done, but halfway. My Father do everything one way. Amen? The problem is we get attached to all these things and try to figure it out, this thing, and how we can do a fundraiser, and how we can raise money. And we are a missionary by call, by God, the wrong way regarding to our eyes. Because regarding to me and my wife, normal missionary people, what they do, they get a church, a sponsor, they raise some fund, and they send them. So we went and we go back and nobody was behind us. But we was obedient. And I will tell you here, we always call in his name. And he always was there. Always was there. I know there's a lot of people here, they want to feel God present. And he's here. You don't feel it because you don't want to believe because he's here. Because I believe is what really matters. I always preach and say to people, you know Jesus Christ? Or you really know Jesus Christ? Because it's different when you heard Pastor Ricardo, everybody know me, but nobody know me. I always surrounded by people, but I always feel alone. Sometimes, because we raised the hand one time, we were saved, that don't mean we're Christian. That means we're a Christian, and you got a key to the heaven, but man, heaven is a big thing. It's a big house waiting for us there. It's a mansion there. You just have to get the key, open the door, and enjoy salvation. Working for him. Your life is no longer yours anymore. He died and he gave us his life so we can get one. So our life is no longer mine anymore. He died for me so I can live for him. Y la montaña de luz, I cannot lose the focus. I love my wife and I ask her every day if she want to marry me. And at last she said yes. And at last he continue working with us together like a partner, like a worship, like we want to serve the Lord to the last day. But she turned around and go back. She had to go by herself. Because I can't give my back to the Lord. And I cannot say no when I promise I will do it the rest of my life. We cannot put so many idols in our life and try to please God. A lot of people here, how many of you guys go to mission trip before? Wow, a lot of them. And the one that never go before, I encourage you to go once. And your life going to be changed like mine. One mission trip. And I'm a pastor missionary today. You never will know what God has in plan for you if you don't move out of your comfort zone and move. We talk about what Peter sank. And everybody say, oh, poor Peter, little faith. I wish I could have half of his faith. Half his faith because he's the only one get out of the boat and try to walk. And the Bible never say how many steps he did it, but he said he did it. And what you want to think about it, how many steps he did it, he was close enough, and when he called God, he was there. So that means he not was one step in deep, like I will. He did it more than one, even the Bible don't explain why. And everybody say he sank because a little faith. And Hebrews say, book the Hebrews say that you cannot please God without faith. That means before he sank, he pleased God. God was clapping, good, faithful. He walking in water because he listened, because he's obedient. God, the Bible says, he said, come, and he went. He don't question him. We like to question everything. God called me, give me money, give me a church behind me, tell me who go with me. No. When God called, you move. And when you sink, he will be there to rescue. Because we being only obedient to the Lord, I will not take nothing with me. And I will die like everybody else. We focus in this thing, we have a car and everything we have because we need all these things, we need money, we need a job, we need this, and we need all these things. We just need Jesus. We don't need anything else. He got it all. He got it all. He got it all. Amen? Amen. And I'm going to close this. This is a thing I have in my mind about all the, in Ecuador, my wife was saying, talking about, people say it is impossible to do this. And I said, I know, for you and me, not for my daddy. Oh, you can now make the mayor And you will never get this auditorium expecting a singing to come there because you will be there one day. And it is impossible you can talk to the police mayor and the mayors of the town and having a conversation with him. I said, I know. I don't want to talk to him. I just want to pray for him. And guess what? Today, that's what I do. Every meeting they go, I pray for the meeting. And this mayor, the one that can tell me they cannot talk to them, today, when I need security guard, they send it to me. When I need the barrio, they go for us. And they say, Pastor Ricardo, I got 32 community. I want you to share the gospel with them. Because they receive Jesus Christ to the ministry of La Montaña de Luz. They know that when they hear the truth will set them free. Not what I preach. It's not about me. I always tell the people, they don't matter who is saved here and talk. Just matters what they say. If what I say don't match with the Bible, forget about it. What I think and my emotion mixing with everything else do not come in a play with the scripture. It's not worth it. It don't matter how good I talk. We have to be obedient to the Lord. There's people here that are sick. Only because you want to be sick. I remember in the Bible when the paralyzed guy wasn't and they entered the city and the well and the water once a year, you turn around, whoever go there, be healed. And he never make it. Jesus said, you want to be healed? He don't ask him why he's there. And he give you all the excuses like we all do. He don't want to be healed. He wanted people to have sympathy for him so he can be paralyzed for 38 more years. And some people want to be sick because we want a prayer. My mom is the one that told me, Papito, I want you to pray for me. I said, Mom, nobody prayed for you before? Yeah, everybody does it. So forget about it. Forget about it. I don't need to pray for you. You are the problem. She don't believe. So then no matter who pray for you, you're not going to get healed. I'm not healing nobody. It's my dad is the one that healed. And when he said the cross is done, it's done. He did it for all. He died with all our sin. Any punishment he take it belongs to you and me. And when he raised it for the dead, I want you to get this. They said that the tomb was empty. He don't look back for anything else. He just move forward. And he's keep going. He don't say, oh, poor me, oh, my sin, all these things. No, it's just already done. Some people like me, we always want to remember the past and whine about it and complain. Because, oh, you don't know my life before. I encourage you really big. Don't look for miracle. You're looking for the one that do it. You don't need a miracle. You need a Jesus. And this is a lot of people asking me questions, and I know I'm done, almost done. I know I don't like to talk much because I know. Come on, I just get excited. Okay, no, okay. I just gonna close it in. I just really thank you for you guys' opportunity to give me the time to speak here. Because I will never think I was worth it enough to stay in this place, what Pastor Roger said. For my father, he knowing that the time was coming and the time will be done and the people will know that we're faithful to him. I never met Pastor Roland before because God wanted me to meet him before. For I'm so glad and blessed to meet you guys. I'm so blessed to be here. And my wife always got enough. I know. Everybody, please cut it off. I know. And this is what happened in Ecuador too. Everybody is quit. And I cannot see because, it is so much I want to share with you guys. Serious. Do something for the Lord. Because he did it all for you. If you die tomorrow, Why you will share with him? I was watching soap opera. I'm sorry. What you was doing for him when the moment he come and get you? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Do everything you do with love. Go find a mission trip. You don't have to go to Ecuador, believe me what I tell you. We got a lot of work to do there. We put you to work. You go on vacation, find another place. But I really appreciate the opportunity and the time. The people that they don't know me, they're thinking now, it's sure, I will put you to work. Please find a way to support this church, support this ministry, and God will bless you abundantly. Not because He needs anything for you, it's because you need everything for Him. Okay? All right. So let me close in prayer really quick. Well, Pastor Rolling going to talk, so it's better for me to just leave. Thank you. God bless you.
I'm going to make this quick, so you're going to have to listen quick, okay? Only got a few minutes left, and but I want to share some exciting things with you. But first of all, before I do that, I want to say this. I started off with taking on my pastor just a little bit. We think different and approach things in a different way. But this is just what you just heard and what you've seen and experienced today is just one example of how he hears from God and how he hears things that nobody else hears. And he's willing to step out and say, okay, I'll meet with this guy because God told him to. And this is part of the result of that. And Rogers does that all the time. I see it firsthand. So even when I don't get it, it doesn't matter. So as a mission pastor, Pastor Roger asked me to share some things with you this morning. And like I said, I'm going to make this real quick. But I am so excited about 2019. Grace Church of Avondale, you. Especially those of you who have signed up for Faith Promise. But some of you didn't actually sign the card, but you still give the missions regularly. And even with your regular tithes and offerings, part of that goes into missions also. I mean, it all works together. Your giving makes all this work. But especially those of you who have gone the extra step for the Faith Promise. Because of that, this is the mission areas that we are supporting this coming year on a regular basis. And it's contingent on you holding up your part and funds being there. But they've always been there. They've always come in. We trust the Lord for it. But we're Taylor Leary was on that list. We have outreaches all around the world through Taylor Leary, through April Fish, Julie Rowland, Father Heart Ministry here locally and around the world. She does both. Santosh and Mani Desabatula are in India. And Elijah and Rebecca Wapula, who are in Kenya, that we just came back from. In addition to that, we're adding this year Nate Manning, Victor and Kathy Bruce, James Nixon, and La Montaña de Luz. We're going to be. Now think about that. This congregation, which is not huge. It's going to get bigger. But right now it's not huge. But even with this size, in some of these countries I can't tell you out loud because I don't know if this is going out podcast or not. But we literally have an outreach in a part of ministries around the world, literally around the world. Think what's going to be possible. Think what's possible. Then, better than that, think what's impossible and claim it. That's what we want to do, right? The impossible. It's outside these walls. It's in this city. You'll notice there's a mix in there of cross-cultural missions and local missions. I want to get in the mindset of breaking down that dividing wall, because the Great Commission starts in Jerusalem, but it goes to the othermost parts of the world. It's all of it. It's a call to evangelism. But what is it about foreign missions, about taking a trip? I've got to do this because this is my particular thing. You open your eyes up to what's going on around the world. You take the gospel of Jesus Christ to the Sachilas out in the jungle, or to a remote village outside of Mount Eglon, somewhere near the Ugandan border, which I don't even know where we were at exactly. I'm like, if I lose him, we're all lost. It'll change the way you feel about evangelism right here in Jacksonville. That's one of the purpose of short-term missions, of getting out. It'll open your eyes. It'll change you forever. This year, we're going to Ecuador. If you want to go to Ecuador, July 5th, you need to let me know today or tomorrow at the very latest, preferably today. Even if you're not committing, if you're just interested, let me know. I'm planning on going to the Philippines. I don't know yet when that. I'm trying to organize a trip to go to the Philippines and trying to organize a trip to Honduras. If you're interested in any of those, just let me know. You don't have to commit. Just let me know and talk to me. Get out. Get out. Step on the water. Even if it's just a few steps, step out on the water. We're going to have a time of ministry as the worship team comes. And